Did you know that a lot of the mistakes we make in programming may have more to do with our emotional state than with the complexity of the code? Imagine if you could treat your emotions the same way you treat bugs in your software. Analyzing, understanding, and correcting. Welcome to the concept of emotional debug. The daily life of a modern developer is full of challenges that go far beyond the keyboard. From the pressure to deliver features ahead of schedule, to the anxiety caused by intense code reviews or meetings that get out of control, all these factors can directly impact your technical performance. If you've ever felt the stress of pressing a deadline, been overwhelmed by reviewing a pull request, or dealt with a mental energy drop in the middle of a project, know that you're not alone. These feelings are part of #devlife. But today, we're going to show you how to deal with it in a practical and transformative way. Let's explore how tools like emotional stack traces and simple self-awareness practices can help transform the way you look at your days as a developer. Because after all, the cleanest code starts with a clear mind. Ready to make your emotional commit. Just as an unhandled exception in code can cause a production crash, unprocessed emotions can result in conflict, procrastination, and low productivity. The emotional stack trace is a practical framework that helps identify and manage emotional triggers, turning impulsive reactions into conscious responses. The idea is simple and adapted from the programming. Identify the trigger. When something arouses irritation, anxiety, or sadness, ask, "What happened to make me feel like that? Why did that bother me?" Record the context. As a technical trace stack, record the flow of emotion. What was the situation that triggered the trigger? What was your initial reaction? Treat and refutor. Just as we fix code exceptions, solve the emotional logic. Am I overestimating the problem or underestimating my ability to deal with it? How can I refactor this situation to avoid a crash in the future? Practical application in everyday life. Imagine that, before a meeting, you receive a critical email about a project. Irritation takes over, and you enter the tense meeting, affecting your performance. Using emotional stack trace can help. Before reacting, ask yourself, how can I express myself in a constructive way to solve the problem? Inspirational real case. At MongoDB Amsterdam, an internal analysis revealed that 73% of pull request conflicts were related to anxiety and accumulated emotional stress. Developers often brought external tensions to the work, which escalated small technical disagreements. By implementing the emotional stack trace, they established a culture where team members, they recorded their emotional states before and after the meetings. They mapped emotional patterns linked to critical moments, such as code reviews or deadlines. They used breathing and mindfulness practices as a way to treat emotions. Results. Conflicts in pull requests fell by 54%. The code produced was considered 33% more efficient, based on fewer bugs per sprint. The team reported a 45% increase in overall job satisfaction. Simple tools to create your emotional stack trace. Digital journaling. Use apps like Notion or emotional logging tools to create quick logs. Meeting check-ins. Add 2 minutes at the beginning of meetings so everyone can share how they are feeling in a brief way. Method of the 5 why, a technique adapted to emotions. Ask why 5 times to understand the root of an emotional trigger. Emotional stack trace is more than a tool. It's a change in mindset. It allows you to face negative emotions with the same objectivity that you deal with bugs in code, creating a healthier and more productive environment. What are debug rooms? Debug rooms are physical or virtual environments created to help developers process emotions before facing challenges like critical meetings, code reviews, or tight deadlines. Inspired by the concept of programming debugging, these rooms are designed to offer a moment of pause, self-awareness, and relaxation amidst the chaos of work. They combine mindfulness practices, biofeedback, and self-care tools to transform emotional tensions into balance, reducing negative impacts on the work environment. Why are they important? The idea of creating debug rooms starts from a simple truth. Balanced minds produce better code. In a high-pressure environment, unprocessed emotions can lead to conflicts, impulsive decisions, and even burnout. Having a dedicated space to refactor, These emotions allows professionals to return more focused and with greater mental clarity. In the corporate context, companies like the Deutsche Bank Tech Hub have implemented mindfulness rooms designed to reduce stress and improve the well-being of teams. Results observed at Deutsche Bank. Burnout reduced by 67%. Increase in code quality by 89%. Employees reported greater satisfaction in work and team interactions. How do they work? Debug rooms may vary in complexity, but they follow some basic principles. Calm environment, relaxing sounds, soft lighting and a quiet atmosphere to slow down the mental rhythm. Available tools. Mindfulness apps like Calm or Headspace. Biofeedback equipment that helps monitor and control stress, such as cardiac or breathing sensors. Gamification techniques to make the emotional practice more engaging. Guided techniques. Quick deep breathing exercises. Short sessions of meditation or positive visualization. Digital or physical journaling options to record emotions. Practical example. Debug rooms at Deutsche Bank. At the Deutsche Bank's Tech Hub in Frankfurt, debug rooms were equipped with ergonomic chairs for relaxation, biometric tools that monitor stress levels in real time, digital guides with mindfulness, breathing and reflection exercises. These rooms were used primarily before challenging meetings, such as project discussions or multicultural team alignments. Direct impact. Significant reduction in conflicts between teams. Increase in team problem solving, on average, 35% faster. More talent retention, with a 24% reduction in turnover in technology teams. How to create your own debug room. Even if your company does not have a dedicated physical room, it is possible to create an adapted version. Virtual space. Use platforms like Zoom, Slack or Microsoft Teams to organize group mindfulness sessions. Individual focus. Offer regular emotional check-ins and digital tools for self-assessment. Small actions in the day-to-day. 5 minutes guided breathing before meetings. Creation of pause moments for reflection in the midst of challenging tasks. Debug rooms are an example of how small changes in the desktop environment can bring huge benefits to developers and teams. They reinforce the idea that mind-taking is as important as optimizing code. What is emotional unit testing? Emotional unit testing is a daily practice that functions as an emotional checkpoint before facing challenging technical tasks. Just as we test the functionality of a code with unit tests before integrating it into production, emotional unit testing allows us to assess our mental and emotional state to avoid failures in critical situations at work. Why is it important? In high-performance contexts, such as the technology sector, stress, anxiety and mental exhaustion can directly affect decision-making and the quality of work. Developers who ignore their emotions end up accumulating emotional debts, which can lead to team conflicts, impulsive decisions and even burnout. Microsoft Vancouver, for example, has integrated emotional unit testing into its work culture. Before critical code reviews or major releases, developers take a break to assess their emotions. As a result, the team reported a 45% increase in quality of deliveries and a reduction in code review conflicts. How to implement? Quick check-in. 3-minute. Take a few minutes at the beginning of the day or before important tasks to reflect on. How am I feeling now? Am I anxious, angry or distracted? Is something outside work affecting me? Trigger mapping. Identify emotional triggers that could hurt your focus, such as negative feedback received previously, unresolved conflicts in the team, pressure of tight deadlines, conscious planning. Based on check-in, adjust your approach. Are you anxious? Do a low-complexity task to gain confidence. Are you angry? Give a short break or write down what bothers you to process later. Digital tools. Use tools such as mindfulness apps, Headspace, Calm, or even digital journals to record your feelings. These records can help identify emotional patterns over time. Real cases of success. Microsoft Vancouver. Developers take daily breaks for emotional unit testing before starting complex tasks, such as fixing critical bugs. They use an emotional check scale, from 1 to 5, to determine their readiness. The result? 92% reduction in errors by distraction. Spotify Stockholm. The team implemented emotional checkpoints in their sprints. Emotional feedback helped to adjust the workload and reduce turnover by 67%. Maersk Digital, Copenhagen. The company uses the Mindset Monitoring Dashboard, a tool that encourages developers to report their emotional states throughout the day, promoting a culture of transparency and well-being. Tips to apply in your day-to-day. Before a pull request, ask yourself, am I in my best state of mind to review this code constructively? Before tense meetings, take a 2-minute break to take a deep breath or write down your thoughts. Before large deliveries, consider whether your emotions may be influencing the way you approach the technical problem. As in unit testing, consistency is essential. Doing emotional unit testing regularly helps create a self-conscious emotional mindset that improves your productivity and quality of life at work. Know that unprocessed emotions are like untreated bugs. Sooner or later they will crash. In the daily lives of developers, unmanaged emotions can negatively impact productivity and well-being. Fortunately, there are practical tools and simple methods that help balance the emotional state, improve focus and boost performance. Here are 2 effective approaches. Journaling is a powerful practice to identify how your emotions influence your productivity. By recording your emotions regularly, you gain clarity about emotional patterns, learn to better handle challenges and promote greater self-knowledge. How does it work? Digital tools. Apps like Notion, Dailyo or Evernote make it easy to record your daily emotions. They allow you to create an emotional history with graphs and reminders, helping in the organization. Analog method. If you prefer something simpler, a notebook can be used to write down reflections and feelings in a practical and accessible way. Benefits of journaling. Identifying patterns. Helps you realize times of the day when negative emotions, such as stress or frustration, tend to appear, allowing you to prepare for dealing with these triggers. Self-awareness. By reflecting on the impact of the day's events on your mood, you can make more conscious decisions to deal with challenging situations. Stress reduction. Studies show that writing about emotions can relieve stress and promote greater well-being, creating a space for reflection and resolution of internal conflicts. You notice that you feel frustrated after code review sessions. By recording your emotions, you find that this frustration is caused by the tone of the feedback or the pressure of deadlines. With this information, you can look for strategies to improve the experience, such as aligning expectations with colleagues or adjusting deadlines. The traditional Pomodoro method is widely used to increase productivity through focused work cycles and short breaks. The emotional Pomodoro adds an important component: reflection on the emotional state during breaks. How does it work? Basic structure. Work in cycles of 25 minutes of intense focus, followed by 5 minutes of pause. Emotional pause. During breaks, instead of being distracted by social media, use the time to evaluate how you are feeling. Questions for reflection during breaks. How am I feeling now? Am I anxious or overwhelmed? What can I do to relieve stress? Benefits of the emotional tomato. Reduction of tension buildup. Reflecting on emotions during the day prevents stress from accumulating and reaching critical levels. Emotional awareness. Often we are so immersed in work that we do not realize how emotionally we are. This method creates a structured moment for adjustments. Performance improvement. Research indicates that short breaks for emotional introspection help reduce mental exhaustion and increase focus on complex tasks. Practical example. Before you start a development sprint, you notice during the Pomodoro's break that you are anxious with the workload. This perception allows you to adjust your priorities, redistribute tasks or seek support from the team, preventing anxiety from compromising your performance. Managing emotions is as important as managing tasks. Simple tools like journaling and emotional Pomodoro offer practical ways to integrate emotional care into your routine, resulting in more balance, focus, and productivity. Try these practices and see how small adjustments can make a big difference in your day-to-day life. Emotions and code are more connected than we think. Just as we review the code for bugs, we need to review our emotions to make sure that we are not surprised by critical errors during times of pressure. Companies that prioritize emotional health reap clear benefits: productivity, engagement, and quality of life for their teams. Enjoyed this approach? Sign up to the channel and share this video with your team. Let's together refactor our emotions and write better codes.